Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining in. Unfortunately, I missed the noon streams. I did oversleep my alarm. Unfortunately, that's what I get for staying up until like 5 o'clock in the morning getting everything put together. I didn't even finish getting everything put together. But here we are with the afternoon games. We're going to get this done all in one. Get this all done out of the way. And first game that we got up for you is the Philadelphia Eagles against the LA Rams. The Rams are the home team in this one. Eagles are first in the NFC East. Rams are third in the NFC West. Injuries, right now, I'm not really quite sure. Let me pull up at ESPN so I can get those injuries for you, actually. NFL. Move over Philadelphia and LA. Let's see.
Eagles Rams. My best bet for this game is going
Eagles, Sidney Brown, Albert Aquabengum, Marlon Tuapulio, Tuipua. These names are getting. Sorry for butchering that name. The D tackle. Rashad Penny's inactive. Tanner's inactive. And then on the Rams side, we got Nick Hampton, Joe Notebloom, Zach Thomas, Demarcus Robinson, and Dejuan Johnson on the Rams side. All right. Those are all of the inactives that we got for this afternoon for the LA Rams versus the Eagles. Let's get back over here. The Eagles undefeated. The Rams, they've got 2 wins and 2 losses. Their 2 wins are against the Seahawks and the Colts. And their 2 losses are against the 49ers and the Bengals. The team leaders right now, we've got Jalen Hurts, DeAndre Swift, and A.J. Brown. For the Eagles, Jalen Hurts is 88 for 130, 959 yards, 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. DeAndre Swift's got 59 carries, 364 yards and 2 touchdowns. A.J. Brown has 29 receptions, 414 yards and 2 touchdowns. On the Rams side, we've got Matt Stafford, Kyren Williams, and Puka Nacua, the rookie sensation that is doing amazing, by the way. If you had an opportunity to pick up Puka Nacua in fantasy, you're reaping all of the benefits right now. But Matt Stafford, 103 for 166, 1,229 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Kyron's got 64 carries, 245 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Puka's got 39 catches for 501 yards and a tutty. That's just altogether great. That's just great for those guys. ESPN's got the Eagles winning this at a 56% rate. I kind of agree with them. The Eagles are just molding into a better team week by week. The Rams do got a lot of passing yards, and the Eagles have given up a lot of passing yards. The Eagles are at 1,043 passing yards allowed for 27th in the league. So, the Rams might see a good day on offense. So, there might be a chance that the Rams actually go ahead and take this one. Eagles got 5 rushing touchdowns, 5 receiving touchdowns. Rams got 6 rushing touchdowns and 3 receiving touchdowns. Turnover differential is very different. The Eagles are at +4. The Rams are at -3. But the Eagles also got 1 safety and 1 fumble return. They got 8 points on their defense. And yeah, that's just pretty good. On the Eagles side, if they do have the opportunity to jump ahead early, 661 rushing yards for the Eagles. That's second in the league. Compared to the 444 rushing yards allowed, that is number 14 in the league. So they're mid-level with their rushing defense. So We could see the Eagles getting ahead and taking advantage of that if they just decide to run the ball, and it's going to be a downhill slope. But I got it as a tight one. I got the Eagles winning and continuing to be undefeated, pushing forward and everything. We got a couple of decent defenses that are going. The Eagles are slacking on that passing defense this year, but they're missing a few key pieces that they lost in the offseason. Going to be some growing pains, but I feel them working around it and getting everything back to form. I got the Eagles probably about 30 points and the Rams at 26. Eagles 30, Rams 36, Eagles winning. Mark that up. That's my prediction for this game. On to the next game, afternoon game, we got the Bengals and we got the Cardinals. And the Bengals, they're last in the AFC North, and the Cardinals are last in the NFC West. Both teams are 1-3. Again, this is an afternoon game. The only team the Bengals have beat is the Rams. The only team the Cardinals beat is the Cowboys, which is kind of immaculate, but are the Cowboys who we thought they were because of the fact that the 49ers came in and whipped up on the Cardinals and the Cowboys actually lost? Who knows there? It might have been just a fluke week. It was the first week of defense without Trayvon Diggs. One player really can make that much of a difference. But yeah, Cardinals did good that week, though. Josh Dobbs is doing great, immaculate. Cincinnati, we got the leaders. We got Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, and Jamar Chase. Joe Burrow is 87 for 151, 728 yards, two touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He's not doing that great this year, but I do see him coming back and at least saving face and hopefully getting that team to 500. I'm a Browns fan, and Bengals are kind of our rivals, but I don't like to, as a sports fan, I don't like to see anybody go through that. Joe Mixon, 59 carries, 247 yards and a touchdown. Jamar Chase has got 29 catches for 284 yards. He has yet to get a touchdown this year. So that is wild. We are through 4 games and Jamar Chase does not have a touchdown yet. Getting messages in the middle. And let's move over now. Let's grab up. Let's see who's actually inactive. For the Bengals, we got Trey Hill, Josh Tupou, Dante Smith, T. Higgins, and Chidobe Awuzie. Those are your inactives for the Bengals. For the Cardinals, we got Elijah Higgins, Jonathan Ledbetter, Quantrez Knight, Ledbetter, not Badwetter. What? I feel my brain went Badwetter. Jonathan Badwetter. All right. Carter O'Donnell, Keontae Ingram. So those are the guys that are inactive for the Cardinals today. Go ahead and use that information how you will. Moving on, forgot to do the Cardinals. The Cardinals leaders, we got Josh Dobbs, James Conner, and Hollywood Brown. Dobbs is actually he is outperforming himself, doing great. I love to see it. 87 for 123, 814 yards with 4 touchdowns for Josh Dobbs. 62 carries, 318 yards, and 2 touchdowns for James Conner. 21 catches, 239 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Hollywood Brown. You love to see it. Love to see it. And now, getting into the actual stats of the game, my God, Cincinnati is so low when it comes to the offensive rankings this year. For total yards gained, they're last. Passing yards, they're 29th. Rushing yards, they're 31st. This offense has way too much talent on that team to have this happen. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But you got Joe Mixon. You got Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. What is going on? Zach Taylor? I'm starting to look at you. I know I'm someone that's just behind a screen. I got a buddy that's a Bengals fan. He's sad. What is going on here? You can't have all that talent and literally be ranked 4 weeks into the 4 weeks down of the season. You cannot have all that talent and be literally ranked at the bottom of the barrel of the league in offense. Just can't happen. I do not like it. They only have 1 rushing touchdown and 2 receiving touchdowns on the year. 3 offensive touchdowns through 4 games. I hate it. Somehow they do pull off having a positive +2 turnover differentials, the Bengals do. Cardinals, thanks to, even though Josh Dobbs has been doing great, they're still ranked 22nd in the league when it comes to passing yards. That's tough. They got 4 rushing, 4 receiving. Turnover differential of +3. The Cardinals got 1 fumble return. That means that they got 6 points on defense. Just wild with the Bengals. Their passing yards defense is good, so it looks like Dobbs might lock it down and win. Unfortunately, I have the Cardinals winning this, and honestly, I don't see it being a high-scoring game. Like a touchdown and a couple of field goals for both teams, and it's decided by a field goal. So, like, (19-16) Cardinals. I'll go ahead and do that because, I mean, Cardinals defense isn't that great, but Bengals offense isn't that great. Looking at the sheets, Browns, Ravens, Rams, Titans, yes, they've had some tough defenses that they have to go up against. But that Titans defense should have been a good bounce back. Well, I mean, they already bounced back and won against the Rams. Continuing the bounce back, I feel like they should have went and got the Titans. I've got the Cardinals. I feel like the Bengals are just, for some reason, if it's in the coaching, maybe it's Burrow and his calf problem, but I don't understand where that, because is that bleeding into the rushing game? We don't know. We don't know. Or I don't know. Again, I'm just a guy behind a screen sitting here giving you guys my predictions. Moving forward, we got the Kansas City Chiefs, 3-1, first in the AFC West, against the Minnesota Vikings, 1-3, third in the NFC North. Yeah. Vikings finally got a win against the Panthers last week, and the Kansas City Chiefs, they might have dropped that first game against the Lions, but they got Chris Jones, Stone Cold Jones. They got him and Travis Kelce. Shout out to those guys at New Heights Podcast. Go ahead and go and check out New Heights if you haven't. That's a great podcast and everything. Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce, the center of the Eagles. Those 2 guys, they've got the podcast. They're in their 2nd season of their podcast, and they're doing great. So go ahead and go and check them out. Give them a shout out. Gonna give them a shout out every single time that Travis or Jason ends up getting brought up. Unfortunately, I didn't have to bring up Jason in the Eagles prediction. So here we are. Sorry about that, Jason, that I didn't mention you. But unfortunately, first game, got those 2 guys back and everything. So it's looking good for the Chiefs. Chiefs are on the uphill slope. They got bumped up to 2nd in the power rankings. On the Chiefs side, we've got Pat Mahomes, Pacheco, and Watson. Justin Watson. I'm pretty sure that's how you'd say his name. Or that's his first name. It just says J. God damn it. Jalen Watson. Jesus Christ. I'm a horrible human being. Wait, is that the same guy? No, that Jalen Watson is a fucking cornerback. Which Watson are we talking about? While I'm searching this up and everything, we can go ahead. Injury report. Injury status for Kansas City. We've got Mike Caliendo, Keandre Coburn, B.J. Thompson, Nick Bolton, and Matt Dickerson inactive for the Chiefs. On the other side, for the Vikings have Andre Carter II, Nick Muse, Kyrus Tonga, Lewis Klein, and Nick Mullins. Those are the inactives for the Vikings. Now let's see who this Watson guy is. Click on yeah, it was Justin Watson. Should just went with my gut. Oh well, lesson learned. But yeah, the stats on those guys: Pat Mahomes is 92 for 103, over 1,000 yards already, 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Unfortunately, he's thrown a couple of picks this year, so his QB rating really isn't that great. But it's still Pat. He's still the number 1 quarterback in the league. Pacheco, 55 carries, 270 yards, and 2 tutties. Justin Watson, 8 receptions, 163 yards. Didn't know if that was a 6 or an 8. But he doesn't have a touchdown yet this year, unfortunately. Those are the stat leaders for Kansas City. Moving over to the Vikings side, we got Kirk Cousins, Alexander Mattison, and of course, Jay Jettis. Justin Jefferson has got 33 receptions, 543 yards, and 3 touchdowns this year. He's doing his thing. He's doing immaculate. Kirk Cousins, 108 for 157, 1,214 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. So, a few more touchdowns than Pat. So, numbers-wise, debatable. Nah. Pat Mahomes is going to figure it out. Alexander Mattison, he's got 56 carries for 250 yards. He doesn't have a touchdown yet. And, again, like I said, that 33 catches, 543 yards for 3 touchdowns, Justin Jefferson. Gotta love it. Moving into the numbers for the rankings on the yardage. Over there on the Chiefs side, 3rd ranked. Total yards gained. So, immaculate offense coming from the Chiefs. They got 3 rushing touchdowns, 8 receiving touchdowns. Love to see it. That defense ranked 8th in the league, total yards allowed. It's going to be tough for the Vikings this afternoon. Their passing's good, but Kansas City Chiefs better. I got the Chiefs locking I'm going to go with the Chiefs locking down the Vikings today. And kind of letting off the gas a little bit, per se. They might not, but I'll go ahead and give up 24 points to the Chiefs and give or take, let's go a touchdown and 2 field goals. Let's just go to 13 for the Vikings. So, yeah, 24 to 13. Kansas City Chiefs win. So, nothing of a crazy beatdown, but it's just going to be locked down. I hope that isn't the case. I do have Kirk Cousins in fantasy, but that's what I've got. Chiefs got a -3 turnover differential, but they got 1 fumble return. So, Vikings, they don't have any points on defense. Turnover differential -8. So, you could probably expect to see some turnovers in this game. Yeah, I'm feeling like that's going to be the case, as turnovers are going to be a thing for this thing. All right, that is that. again, Kansas City Chiefs 24, Minnesota Vikings 13. Moving on to the last afternoon game, we got the Jets and the Broncos. Both are 1-3 and both are last in their divisions. The Jets in the AFC East, Broncos in the AFC West. Let's pull up the injuries and grab up and get that info real quick, and we'll start this game off with that. New York Jets, obviously, still disappointment that we didn't get to see Aaron Rodgers in New York this year. But right now, Zaire Barnes, Brandon Eccles, Carl Lawson, DJ Reed, and Mecole Hardman Jr. are the inactives for the Jets. And then over on the Broncos side, the Broncos inactives are Alex Forsythe, Thomas Incoom, Fabian Moreau, J.L. Skinner, and Javonte Williams are the inactives on the Broncos side. So, if you have any of those guys in fantasy, quickly get them out. Amon-Ra St. Brown. But coming back over here, like I said, last in both of their divisions, only one win. Jets somehow got that miraculous win week 1 over the Bills. Some could say that the Jets would be in that Caleb Williams sweepstakes. Broncos, their last game was the Bears last week, where they beat the Bears in that fourth quarter. The craziest fourth quarter. I don't know. I'm not going to say crazy comeback. I'm going to say crazy as in crazy breakdown of the Bears. But the Bears actually did get a win on Thursday night. Fuck. My prediction was wrong, so.
Wow, what a catch. You got a flag on the ground, guys. I hope it's not holding. It's thrown
I don't have anything to really say about that. Good job on the Bears. DJ Moore balled out. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That guy balled out. But, alright, we're going to go get to the stat leaders for the teams. On the Jets side, we got Zach Wilson, Breece Hall, and Garrett Wilson.
Looking in the right corner of the end zone.
Zach Wilson is 72 for 123, 712 yards, 4 tutties, and 4 interceptions. Breece Hall is 32 carries for 210 yards. Garrett Wilson, 21 catches, 225 yards, and 2 tutties. Breece Hall does not have a touchdown yet. And then over on Denver's side, of course, you got Russell Wilson, Broncos country. Let's ride. Russell Wilson, Javonte Williams, and Marvin Mims Jr. Didn't think that you'd see him on a fucking leaderboard. But Russell Wilson is 89 for 132, 1,014 yards, 9 tutties, and 2 interceptions. So he's actually doing adequate. Javonte's got 38 carries for 138 yards, no touchdowns for him either. Mims, 9 catches, 242 yards, and a tutty. So that's doing good. Moving on to the stats. We got Jets that are just as bad as the Bengals. 30th in the league for total yard, or for offense. 30 total yards gained. Or not 30 total yards. 30th in the league for total yards gained. Jeez. My bad, everybody. But 30th in the league for total yards gained. At least the Broncos are last in damn near every category. The only one that they're not last is when they're the one that they're second to last in passing yards. But total yards allowed for their defense on the Broncos side, last. Rushing yards, last. Points allowed, last. Turnover differential, -2. The Broncos got positive. They did get a fumble return this year. Jets, their turnover differential is even. They got a safety. The Jets got a safety for this year. Their defense, their passing defense is mid-level, but the rest of it, that rushing defense sinks it down. But somehow they've managed to stay middle of the road. considering points allowed.
Flag on the ground, guys.
If you look at the Broncos are dead last with 150 points allowed. Jets, they're middle of the road, 84 points allowed. So somehow they managed to squeak out of it. Tied for 20th in the league for rushing yards. Jets got a rushing touchdown and 4 receiving touchdowns. Broncos got 1 rushing touchdown and 9 receiving touchdowns.
Into Stephon Diggs, complete for the touchdown.
Okay.
15 yards. That was a laser.
Yeah, this is going to come down to who's got the better defense, and the Jets got the better defense.
On a laser throw like that.
So yeah, the Jets are actually going to be able to stop the Broncos a couple of times. The Jets are just going to, I don't want to say roll over them because they aren't the greatest team in the league, but I'll put the Jets. I'll take the Jets in this one. In a mid-level scoring affair. Go with the Jets 28 and the Broncos 10. 28-10. New York Jets taking that one. And that's it. That is all 4 of the afternoon games. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you guys liked it. And if you guys enjoyed the content, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure that you go down and you hit that subscribe button. Like the video for me. Please and thank you. For those of you guys that are already subscribed and watching and part of the Beansworthy Entertainment family, I love you guys. Thank you guys for being there. That's it for the afternoon predictions. I'll be out of here, and I will be back for the. I'll make another one for the Sunday night game. But sorry about not getting the noon games in. I'm gonna get it fixed. We're gonna get this worked out. Still in the starting process of it to get the kinks worked out and everything. And there's a lot that goes into it with the information that I'm gathering for all of these games. And it's a little bit of a time frame thing, so I gotta work with how the information comes out. And is available to me. Usually it's like Tuesday or Wednesday when I can actually get most of it done. But be kind and respectful to others. Most of all, be kind and respectful to yourself. You're the number one person in this world. Nobody matters more than you do. Love you guys. See you next time.